The truth about Trey Hendrickson's contract extension is finally out, and it's not what most people expected. This deal isn't just about numbers on paper. It could shape the future of the Bengals' defense in a huge way. Hendrickson's offseason was filled with drama, back-and-forth negotiations, and plenty of speculation. Then, just 11 days before the season, the Bengals locked him in with a surprising one-year adjustment worth nearly $14 million. That move instantly became one of the biggest headlines of the summer. But before we dive deeper into what this contract really means for Cincinnati, make sure you hit that subscribe button. This contract might look like a simple pay raise, but the reality is far more important. It shows how much the Bengals value Hendrickson, not only for 2025, but potentially for what comes after. While there was talk of a long-term, three-year deal, the sides ultimately landed on this one-year bump. And that decision could carry major ripple effects for both Hendrickson and the Bengals' future roster plans. So what does this deal really mean for Cincinnati heading into the season? The new details make things even more fascinating. Instead of handcuffing themselves with a heavy cap hit, the Bengals found a clever way to work around it. Yes, Hendrickson got a $14 million boost, but thanks to the way the deal was structured, with a void year added in, the actual cap hit for 2025 drops to just about $3 million. That's a massive difference, and a smart financial move by the front office. Why is that so important? Because the Bengals already had around $28 million in cap space before this adjustment. Now, with Hendrickson secured and flexibility still intact, the team has breathing room to address other areas, whether it's shoring up the defense or adding more stability on the offensive line. This isn't just about rewarding one of the best pass rushers in the league. It's about keeping Cincinnati in position to compete, while still leaving the door open for more moves if the season demands it. The reality of every NFL season is this: injuries happen, and players don't always perform up to expectations. The Bengals felt that firsthand at right guard with Lucas Patrick, who struggled and then went down with an injury. That forced the team to act, and they responded by bringing in Dalton Risner. This was a smart, calculated move. Risner was widely considered the top free agent lineman left on the market, and Cincinnati wasted no time securing him once the timing was right. It almost feels like the front office was waiting for cutdown day to see what other options might appear. But in the end, Risner was the clear best choice. Now, the challenge is getting him up to speed. There's a chance he won't be ready for week 1, which is unfortunate, but week 2 feels realistic. Either way, he gives the Bengals much-needed stability on the interior line, a spot that has been a weak link in recent years. And here's the intriguing part: the Bengals may not be finished. With plenty of cap space still available, Cincinnati could continue adding impact players. A name like Justin Simmons at safety makes sense, especially after Jesse Bates' departure left a hole in the secondary. Or imagine pairing someone like Za'Darius Smith opposite Trey Hendrickson. That would instantly elevate the pass rush. The key takeaway is simple: Cincinnati has options. They've managed their cap space wisely, keeping themselves flexible not just for this season, but for whatever adjustments are needed as the year unfolds. In many ways, Hendrickson's current deal could be seen as a blessing in disguise. Reports suggested that earlier talks involved a massive 3-year, $95 million extension. On paper, that looks like the perfect contract for a star pass rusher. But the problem? There weren't any real guarantees beyond the first season. That was the sticking point. Hendrickson wanted long-term security, while the Bengals were hesitant to lock in guaranteed money for years to come. Without that protection, Cincinnati would have had the ability to move on after one down year, something Hendrickson clearly wasn't comfortable with. So instead, the Bengals landed on the one-year adjustment. It gives Hendrickson his raise for now while keeping the team flexible for the future. And here's the key: the deal does not include a no-tag clause. That means after this season, Cincinnati still has the option to place the franchise tag on him if a long-term agreement isn't reached. It's a reminder of how delicate these negotiations can be. Players want stability. Teams want control. And in this case, the Bengals kept themselves in position to make the call in 2026 without giving up leverage. The franchise tag isn't popular among players, but it remains a powerful tool for NFL teams, and it could easily come into play with Hendrickson. Cincinnati secured him for 2025 with only a $3 million cap hit, but next year they'll still have the flexibility to tag him if he continues producing at a high level. That gives the Bengals control of the situation. If Hendrickson dominates again, tagging him becomes a realistic option. If his play dips or the front office decides the cap hit is too steep, they can move on without long-term damage. Either way, Cincinnati protected themselves while keeping their star pass rusher in the fold for another run. What makes this even more interesting is the team's ability to keep looking for reinforcements. Injuries last year exposed depth issues on defense, and the front office knows it can't afford to repeat that mistake. With cap space available, don't be surprised if the Bengals add another veteran, especially in the secondary or defensive front. For now, though, the most important thing is simple. Trey Hendrickson will be on the field in stripes this season, and given the turbulence of the offseason, that alone is a win for Cincinnati. The good news for Cincinnati is simple. Hendrickson won't be sitting out, and the Bengals don't have to worry about losing their defensive leader heading into the season. But questions remain. Will the front office add another piece on defense? Could they even make a splash before week 1? With the cap space they've created, it's absolutely possible. So now we'll turn it over to you. What do you think of this contract and the way it was structured? Did the Bengals play it smart? Or should they have pushed for a long-term solution? And do you think they'll bring in another impact player before the season kicks off? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit subscribe. Give this video a like, and turn on the bell icon so you never miss the latest Bengals updates. That's all for now. Hoo day.